Good morning, and welcome community leaders, business owners, and students of the Austin community. I am Veronica Puente, the event coordinator for City Council, and this is the City Council's annual panel discussion. Today's panel discussion will discuss lowering the drinking age. We'll talk about the pros and cons of such a proposal. And today's panelists include Juan Rosales, Chief of the Police Department here at Austin, Dr. Hussein Issa, neurologist at St. David's Hospital, and Anthony Scott, head of the Public Relations Department at Tito's Vodka. And lastly, a representative of Choose Responsibility. Now, before we begin, I would like to set some ground rules. Please save all questions till the end of the discussion, and each panelist will have 1 minute to answer each question. Thank you. And let's begin. Juan Rosales, Chief of Police, tell me, the first question to all of my panelists. What is your position on lowering the drinking age?
Lady here, my name is Juan Rosales, and I am Chief of Police of the Austin PD. My position in lowering the drinking age, I'm actually against it. I think there's many reasons to be against it, many legitimate reasons to be against it. I will get into this later in my next question, where I state how it's bad for the youth, it's bad for our future, and it's just bad for our community if any of us at all think that lowering the drinking age is good. Again, I am against lowering the drinking age.
Thank you, Mr. Juan. And now to our second panelist, Dr. Hussein. What is your position on lowering the drinking age?
As Veronica said, my name is Hussein Issa, and I'm medical professional at St. David's Hospital. And I'm against because of two reasons. The first reason because it does have a long-term brain impact, and the second reason because it does have destroy the society, like it does destroy the relationship between the parents and the children, and the peer relationship too.
Thank you, Dr. Hussein. And now, the head of PR of Tito's Vodka, Anthony Scott. What is your position on lowering the drinking age?
Alright, hi, I'm Anthony Scott. I am for lowering the drinking age of alcohol. Well, one of the reasons for this is the safety of those who are in fact underage. A lot of times you see, if you are underage, you see people kind of hiding in corners and things, and they don't want to actually come out and be around people who can actually help them in case of anything. So it is actually better for them to be in public while, drinking, essentially. It's better for their well-being. And another reason for my position is the benefit to the economy. Alcohol, it accounts for over $90 billion in sales, so, yearly. And if you increase the market, you increase in your revenue, increase in taxes, and it will be better for everybody in the end.
Thank you, Anthony. And now to our last panelist, representative of Choose Responsibility. Sergio Gonzalez, what is your position on lowering the drinking age?
As Veronica said, I'm Sergio Gonzalez, representative of the Choose Responsibility Organization, which is a non-profit organization in favor of lowering the drinking age. We started off in 2004 with an investigation funded by the Robertson Foundation about the cause and effects of the 21-year-old drinking age limit. Our goal is to lower the drinking age by educating the public. We believe that current drinking laws infantilize young adults and promote immature behavior, and we also promote public policies that will allow 18 to 20 years old to make wise decisions about alcohol drinking. With our program, we believe that we can achieve a more overall conscious society regarding the drinking laws and help them make wiser decisions about the drinking age limit and the drinking laws. If an 18-year-old can choose to go to war, why can't he choose to have a beer or not?
Thank you. And now for our second question. So, Chief of Police, Juan, what negative experiences have you had with underage drinkers? Is it a common sight?
being the chief of police at the Austin PD actually gives me a lot of insight on a topic like this. Underage drinking is actually very big here in Austin because it's a college town. I have seen a lot of underage people get in trouble, doing stupid things, just messing up their lives because they're drinking underage. My main priority here is actually not that they're breaking the law, it's the safety of them. Studies show that brains do not stop growing until you're actually 21. So if you start drinking at 18, you have those 3 years to mess up your brain, and you're just gonna start messing it up and keep messing it up and keep messing it up. Lowering the drinking age is totally wrong for our youth, for our future, because these kids are our future. These kids are what's gonna keep us going. If we mess them up as young as 18 and then just let them keep going.
Thank you, Juan. And our second panelist, Dr. Hussein Issa. How does alcohol impair an individual's growth?
Well, adolescence is the transition period between the adulthood and between the childhood and the adulthood. During this period, significant changes occur in the body, including rapid hormonal alterations and formation of new networks in the brain. Exposing the brain to alcohol during this period may interrupt the keepers of the brain development.
Thank you, Doctor. And now, Head of PR, Anthony Scott. How would lowering the drinking age impact small businesses in our community?
Oh, that's a good one. Small businesses in our community, yeah, they're small, but they also represent a lot. In Austin alone, there are all the businesses on Strict Street. You wouldn't see chains of them. They're all individual businesses. There are a lot of little pharmacies, little markets, all lined along the city. Now, if we get into it, Austin is a college town. People between the ages of 18 and 21 are university students. So to lower the drinking age also will greatly benefit the economy of the city, and it will also benefit small businesses as their sales will increase. According to the most recent census, there are about 32.5, well, upwards of that, million people from the ages of 18 to 21. So I worked out some numbers and figured out that each person 21 and over spends about $464.
And thank you, Mr. Scott. And now for our last panelist. What is your planned proposal for lowering the drinking age?
The Choose Responsibility organization differs from other programs and efforts for lowering the drinking age because of our approach, that is by education. As I mentioned before, we believe that current drinking laws infantilize young adults and promote immature behavior, so we envision a program that would allow them to make wise decisions about it, and it's through an education similar to a driver's education, sorry. It would consist of 40 hours of drinking law education taught by a professional trained alcohol educator that will go over the legal, ethical, health and safety issues regarding the drinking law. It would provide accurate and unbiased education to both drinkers and other subjects that are taking the education, and require a final examination that, if passed, it will allow them to be legally licensed to drink below 21 years old.
Thank you, Sergio. And now, before I conclude this panel, I would like to recap what our panel has discussed. Today we discussed the pros and cons of lowering the drinking age. Chief of Police Juan Rosales discussed the negative experiences he has experienced in the field with underage drinkers and the negative impacts that has on our community. Dr. Hussein Issa illustrated to us the detrimental health effects that drinking at a young age can have on an individual's body. Mr. Anthony Scott, head of PR for Tito's Vodka, introduced us to the the positive economic impact that lowering the drinking age can have not only on our small communities, but in our nation at large. And lastly, Representative of Choose Responsibility, Sergio Gonzalez, talked to us about this new program that will allow underage minors to drink if they can complete the program. And now I will open the panel up for questions. Thank you to my panelists for providing us with this depth of knowledge, and thank you to my audience for being such avid listeners. And now we are open for questions. Yes,
Anthony, can you talk more about the safety of lowering the drinking age?
Mr. Anthony Scott. The question was, can you tell the audience more about lowering the drinking age?
Yeah, the safety aspect of it is, well, our view on it in Tito's is that if you actually lower it, it is safer for those who are underage, because to put them in the public with others also not only gives them supervision, but as he said, their safety is the important thing. When all the underage people, they hide and they be stupid with alcohol, that's when bad things start to happen. Like a lot of it, if you look at times, people see their friends getting alcohol poisoning or anything along those lines. They're afraid to report certain circumstances because of, oh no, we're underage. So it'll actually be a lot safer in the long run for the people.
Thank you, Mr. Anthony Scott.
This question is for Sergio. Does your organization receive funding from the alcohol industry?
Sergio, the question was, does your organization receive funding from the alcohol industry?
The Choose Responsibility organization has not, and will not receive funding from the alcohol beverage industry or any organization affiliated with it. All our funding comes, as I said before, from the Robertson Foundation, as well as the Achilles Foundation and Overbrook Foundation, as well as private individuals all around the country.
Thank you, Mr. Sergio.
This question is for Hussein. What studies have shown that drinking at an early age can be detrimental?
Dr. Hussein, the question was, what studies have shown that drinking at a young age can be detrimental to one's health?
Well, research by Emmett Gordis and Washington D.C. University has shown that youth who use alcohol at age of 15 are 5 times more likely to become alcohol dependent than adults who drink at age 21. Other consequences of youth alcohol use include increased risk sexual behaviors and poor school performance from the high school students, and increased risk of homicide. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hussein. Are there any more questions for my panel? And with that concludes our panel discussion. Thank you.